I'm very frustrated. I called on the president to invoke the 14th Amendment and mint a coin and do not negotiate with hostage takers. I mean, we don't negotiate with terrorists globally. Why are we going to negotiate with the economic terrorists here that are the Republican Party?
Jamaal Bowman not holding back there in terms of the terminology. He's willing to apply to the Republicans. To be fair, Matt Gaetz said that they were holding hostages. So it's sort of a bipartisan thing, pitching them as the cartoonish villains in this case. They've taken our economic future, wrapped it in rope and thrown it on the train tracks, and now they're just cackling wickedly as they twirl their mustache. But while Bowman, I think, is the strongest in terms of how he's willing to identify what we're facing right now, he's not the only Democrat that is angry at the fact that not only the Republicans threatening economic collapse, but Biden is needlessly dragging this out, and it looks like he's willing to give away the farm. Take a look at some of the other criticism.
I think the greatest regret that we should have was the failure to raise the debt ceiling limit back in December, when the Democrats were in control of both chambers of Congress. So that is a miscalculation that we will live to regret.
The Speaker has decided to make this really a public relations effort and really turning it into a political process.
And so their frustration is kind of understandable. Biden did say that he was not going to negotiate and that he expected Congress to pass a debt ceiling increase with no strings attached. And he backed up that stance by saying, I don't need to give you anything else because I can just raise it myself. If he did ever believe that, well, that's unfortunate, because then he just decided to wait and wait and wait. And now his argument is conveniently, oh, I still think I can do it, but there just isn't time. Somebody wasted that time I have, and now we're looking at possibly quite a bit being given away.
Yeah, so first of all, go Jamaal Bowman, go. Love it, here for it. That's exactly what we sent progressives to Congress for. By the way, another positive sign. In the old days, if Jamaal Bowman had said that, in old days as in like, let's say 10 years ago, just to be safe, the world would have collapsed in on him.
That's true.
All of the Democrats would have gone on TV and denounced them, and they would have said, we love our Republican colleagues so much more than we like Jamaal Bowman. He's evil and I can't believe it. We all have to protect the Republicans. That's what Democrats would have said. That's what they've said my whole life. But in this case, they didn't. Okay, we're making progress. There you go, progressives, take the fight to them. And it's a different era. So, and by the way, there, if you didn't notice, I'm actually giving credit to the centrist Democrats too for not attacking Jamaal Bowman for saying things that are true, okay? So I know it's damning with faint praise, but I'll take it, okay? And now Richie Torres, I really like what he said. And I have to confess that he reminded me, oh right, they could have done this in December, right? Even if they didn't want to do it before the elections, they could have done it in the lame duck session. The only part I disagree with Richie Torres on is, he said it was a miscalculation. I don't think so. I think Joe Biden wanted to cut the spending. And now, as you're gonna see a little bit later in the show, they're gonna cut the IRS funding that he had put in because they wanna help the rich avoid taxes. And Joe Biden has always been conservative on economic issues. He has always agreed with Republicans on those issues. And the media pretends that his entire career doesn't exist. Oh, Biden has to do this. The thing that he's always wanted to do his entire career. Oh, golly gee. Oh my, what a miscalculation, oh shucks. He did it again. Okay, fair.
Biden's gonna give all these concessions. Republicans are gonna take their victory lap, and it's gonna be funny because Biden's also gonna take a victory lap. No matter what happens, he's gonna say, well, look, we prevented the worst case scenario. How great is this? What a great day for America. That's gonna be the eventual speech. Even if we do hit that catastrophic shutdown point, eventually he's gonna say, we've fixed it, we came together. And by the way, yeah, we're screwing over millions of people. Don't worry about them, they're gonna be okay. But the biggest thing that Biden should be out there saying right now, this is the message, and he needs to repeat it every day at that podium in front of the nation, and say, listen, you wanna talk about how unserious these people on the other side are? 2 weeks after that drop dead date on the debt ceiling deadline, 2 weeks, they are planning to launch a new series of tax cuts for the wealthy elite. They're gonna change the way you can depreciate. They're gonna make the 2017 tax cuts permanent. They're gonna do this big giveaway to the wealthy elite while whining right now about people receiving $6 a day from the SNAP program. $2 per meal is what these people are getting on average. And they want to cut that so they can continue to cut taxes for the wealthy elite. The fact that that is not the message from every single Democrat right now just shows what a pathetically weak messaging system they have. Because that is what Republicans are working on right now. They've got that legislation ready to go. And yet none of them are out there talking. A couple of them have, I will say on Twitter, a couple of them have. But beyond that, like, why is that not the biggest talking point that Democrats are using to shift the public opinion of the debt ceiling hostage situation we've got?
I'm just gonna add one quick tiny thing to that. By the way, Farron's referring to Ilhan Omar, Bernie Sanders, and a couple other progressives that tweeted about that. But look, guys, if you're a normie Democrat and you think Joe Biden's like a God's gift to humanity and politics, which, believe it or not, yes, they exist. In fact, they might even be the majority of Democratic voters because they watch mainstream media. So those, I'm asking you guys in that category, why isn't Biden saying you're gonna put a $3.5 trillion hole in the deficit with those tax cuts that you're planning to introduce in 2 weeks? Why should I negotiate with you on reducing the deficit if you'd like to add $3.5 trillion to the deficit? That's an inarguable point, but he's never once made it. Doesn't it give you a little bit of pause that maybe he's not fighting the Republicans? All right. I honestly don't have any idea what he's done to fight Republicans on this issue, on the debt ceiling. Like, and by the way, are we getting anything back? Or there's tons of concessions to the Republicans? There's not one concession back, not one back. How is he fighting the Republicans? I don't like I get it. The normie Democrats are just as much brainwashed as the guys who watch Fox News. So it's hard to blame them. Like they watch a media that think it's actual news. They don't understand that it's corporate propaganda. So they're like, oh, I don't know. Joe Reid told me on MSNBC that there's nothing Joe Biden can do, that he has to lie down like a freaking mat for the Republicans and have them walk all over him, spit on him, and then love it, and that's the only thing he can do. And they genuinely believe that.
I think they think that if he drags it out as he has for a while, a month, 6 weeks, and if he keeps coming out and saying, I'll just do it myself, even if he in the end gives in and doesn't do it himself, they've been primed to think he was being strong along the way. And so I think baked into their evaluation is, I think he did the right thing because he didn't give in immediately. It doesn't help the people who, as Farron points out, desperately need that food aid. It doesn't help the people who can't work. They're gonna be burdened by this new paperwork explicitly designed to knock people out of the system. It doesn't help any of these people, but if they've been being told by people they trust in the media all along the way that whatever it is that Biden is doing, I swear to God, it's strength, then I think some of them will come out of it thinking, well, I guess it could have been worse. He could have been weak all along.
Yeah,
I hate it.
By the way, there's one other thing that Biden could do. He could go on TV and read the 14th Amendment to people, okay? And then I would add something that's super obnoxious, which only I would do. But here, I'll read the 14th Amendment for you guys. Quote, the validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law shall not be questioned. Where's the complicated part? I mean, there's literally a very specific amendment that tells you that our debt shall not be questioned, that it must be paid.
Yeah.
Like, so the part that I would do, Biden hasn't even said that. What? Do a press conference, put a giant board up with the quote from the 14th Amendment, read it, and then ask them, do you have trouble with the English language? I'm using the 14th Amendment. This is exactly what it was for. So sad day for you, we're moving on. Oh, by the way, Republicans, and now here's the jank part. Here, I brought a cup so you could fill it with tears. That we have the 14th Amendment. I know you hate it, but we do have it. And by the way, I'm introducing a law to help Republicans read the English language, because apparently they're not very good at it. And I would do a real bill and I would introduce it. Okay, problem solved. That's how you fight. But we have not had a Democrat fight for Democratic voters in this country for so long that we have forgotten things we should not have forgotten, which is that our side is allowed to fight back. But if you watch mainstream media, that is considered heresy. Heresy! How dare you raise your voice to Republicans? Bow your head, they say. No. All right, my answer is no. I will not bow my head. I like fighting Republicans. I'm not like Joe Biden, who likes giving them things for no goddamn reason.
Why'd you point at me?
No,
You know,
Not Joe Biden.
it's been so long, as you point out, since the Democrats had a fighter, since they had somebody willing to get angry, that now when they see that, they act shocked, like, well, this person's just out of line. They're too crazy. Like, we can't listen to this person. Listen how rude they are. I mean, those are the things we heard about Bernie Sanders, and he's a fighter. We've heard it about members of the squad, like, well, they're just being obnoxious. They're being too loud, because that's what they have to be. That's what they're supposed to be. That's their job. That is the job we have sent them to Washington to do. I don't want to listen to the people who say, guys, you need to tone it down. Like, I hear that all that people say, like, you get too angry sometimes. Well, yeah, because I read the news, because I see what's happening, and I'm wondering what the heck is going on, why nobody else sees this and is getting as angry. And it's just this thing that's infected the Democratic Party, where the majority of them, I feel like they've just either forgotten how to fight. It's evolved out of the party at this point, but they got to find it again, or else they're going to continue to get trampled by the other party that is just genuinely hated and policy issues by a majority of people in this country. That's what's crazy about it. So that's where we're at, but I don't know if we can wake them up to do anything about it.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.